Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about Gachiakuta, the manga, because they just announced Season 2. It is confirmed. Season 1 so far has been nothing but phenomenal. It's fantastic. Honestly, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, premieres this year, which is saying a lot because there's some damn good premieres. And honestly, it really seems like it's just poetic the way that My Hero Academia is coming to a close as birth is given to Gachiakuta. But you can tell this is going to be a top anime moving forward. There's so much content, and it seems like there's gonna be so much more coming out. So I'm excited for season 2. I know we all are. Let's get into the manga. I mean, there's so many things to talk about. And by the way, we are gonna start doing manga chapter reactions. If there's a huge chapter that drops, we're gonna be talking about it. It's gonna be a ton of fun, and I feel like we're gonna be doing a lot of them soon because the arc we're in is, first of all, fucking amazing, and it's coming to its peak. You know what I mean? So I feel like the next, 10 chapters are all gonna be just heat. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But when you have this amazing manga, so much more has it come out since the anime, where the anime leaves off. I feel like the part where we gotta start at is how cool the Watchmen series is, and also the power system. Something we learned in the past couple of chapters is that the power that they get for their vital instruments comes from the ground. But it's like, hey, when you transform your hammer, right? Where does that matter come from? And it's like it comes from the ground. And then we saw Rudo give who's it, Follow, a jump start to become a giver. And then we see him now take the Watchman, like the person who's the Watchman series for the necklaces. Like he took his power and merged with it. So the whole power system and the whole thing with vital instruments is really heating up, and we're getting so much information right now. And to me, that's where it's so fucking cool. I cannot wait for the anime to catch up and people to dive into that, because that's been fucking awesome. Whenever we get info on that, I'm like, yo, this is actually insane.
Yeah, and just recently, especially with Mimo and this crazy god form he's in,
So
he
cool.
dropped so badass,
Yeah.
bro. He dropped probably the biggest bit of lore we've gotten straightforward
Mm-hmm.
from the author. This ability from the Watchmen series is powers used by ancient beings and stuff. Up until now, we've really had no idea where this power came from.
Yeah.
And also to comment on your point about the first job arc with Follow, that's a huge understated moment in the manga, because Follow, he's a side character by definition,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a cool moment, but it's not maybe upfront as important as the information broker, or what we're reading right now. But your point, when I first read it and thought about it, it was that to me is why they're called givers, because
Yeah.
it's not just giving an item you care about power. It's about sharing that power. And we've kind of got that with Gauntis, the choker maker, too.
Mm-hmm.
We've now been exposed to a couple instances where it's not just you and your item. The Jinkies are not just, one for one with people. So yeah, the power system and way the abilities are given and kind of change, I think are sensational. It's one of the freshest, most unique kind of power systems. And I hate to call it that, but that's pretty much the best word for it
Yeah.
that we've seen in a long time. It's
Mm-hmm.
not something super straightforward or anything. Using the story to unfold all that, I think is one of the best charms about Gachiakuta, which makes Yorana, the author, one of the best young people in the game.
Dude, it's insane because not only is her character designs so fucking good, character development so goddamn good, it's the plot that is just so unbelievably goated, genuinely goated, because we don't know anything, and yet we still get you know what I mean, the way that she has so many mysteries out there and has us asking so many questions while also giving us so many answers at the same time. It feels so good. You know what I mean? It's so easy to get hooked into, then run with this. And it's insane because of Mimo. Oh my god, we'll talk about one of the best arcs ever. The information broker, it had his moments. It was a solid arc. The information broker, though, I didn't feel any sort of way about. You know what I mean? He was kind of the villain or the main point of interest. Even the
He's a prick, dude.
yeah,
He was a fucking prick.
dude, exactly. But it was cool that Rudo made him apologize. Let's talk about an aura move. And yo, we're gonna talk about that. We gotta talk about Rio's fucking feelings. We're gonna get into that in a
Yes,
second too.
thank you.
There's so
Yes.
many
All
things
right,
to
go.
talk about. Okay, so going back to Mimo. Mimo, in my opinion, was the guy. Because even I think the Raiders are carried by Jabber. And not in a bad way. I don't mean oh, the Raiders suck if Jabber wasn't there. Jabber's having a key part, Raiders are sick. Mimo's on a different level though. How he was kind of put in throughout the entire story since the second or third
Yes.
episode. How we see him on the screen and it's hey guys, and the weather. It's okay, he's there, and then all of a sudden it's by the way, a huge arc focusing all around them. Insane.
Also, one of the best bits of foreshadowing, and again, being a fucking huge manga nerd,
Mm-hmm.
I can see this stuff, and in a way I feel bad, but right when they're at the bar or restaurant when Zodal is about to absorb everybody,
Yeah.
Mimo's on the TV talking about the trash beast. It's like, yo, that bit of foreshadowing when you go back and look at it, it's just like, oh, well done, beautiful. But you don't know that until, whatever, we're talking like season 3 here.
Which makes him such a cool character. His ideals too, and the way he does everything, which is so awesome. The way he transforms into a god, and it even brings up the question where everyone's debating, like, what is a god? You know what I mean? Because it's something where like it's a complete unheard of thing. I think for Rudo and like the Spheroids, but then everyone else kind of like heard of it, and Rudo's like, or it was the other way around. And Rudo's even like, I don't think he's a god. The way he's talking about, it, he still seems very human. Because everyone's like, dude, why are you gonna stoop to his level? You might not be able to come back from this. You know what I mean? It's a very aggressive, impulsive move, which is insane. And like he's taking the stakes to a whole nother level. The Hell's Guard's getting involved. Like everybody's here, and then to Lily. I mean, we're talking about some of the best designed characters in like the coolest moments. It's all been just so good. In my opinion, this arc has just like Gachiakuta is amazing. Season 1 was really good in the anime. Well, the arcs we get after season 1 are really good too. And it's crazy how this arc just makes everything look beneath. You know what I mean? It's just a step above in every aspect. The fights, the lore, everything. I mean, Rio like bursting through that shield was insane. I'm like, oh yeah, this shield's
Ooh.
impregnable. It gave you flashbacks to when Rio was like, oh, I heard that, I know what that sound is in the like what the first fight she has with the trash beast. It's just like, that means I found your weak spot, and she just fucking shoves the scissors into the thing's head. Bro, it reminded me of that, and she just breaks through, and it's like, yo, dude, Rio's her. Like Rio's on another level. Insane.
And like I feel like she's the next character we're gonna eventually get into in the
Dude,
manga. But like,
hopefully.
because we kind of got foreshadowed, yeah. And like going back to the fucking information broker, like he basically drives us through a whole arc where we have to deal with a whole bunch of bullshit and the raiders, all for the fucking shit you knew we were looking for, the information we knew we were looking for. And at the very end, he's like, "Well, I'll like give Rio a free piece of advice, like what happened with your family, your dad." Like, don't you want to know about your mom? She was just like, yeah, no, I didn't fucking ask. Like,
Yeah.
save that shit for somebody who cares. Like, later. And like this instance where she's like, yeah, if love is too strong, like it starts to form cracks. Urana gives her the most like legit aura farming panels. I love Rio. I love the art in general, but Rio I think is done exceptionally well as like the female character. So badass. And it's just like something we definitely get it in the anime, I think with a lot of characters,
Yeah.
but it's different in the manga. Like some of those panels hit super hard.
Dude, the way that they get super detailed and just super dark, and it's just like, yo, it hits. Because like you were talking about, like Rio has that cold side to her. It's something you really see more in the manga because of the way that the panels are shaded and stuff. Where like, yeah, like dude, Rio's a fucking badass. That's what's funny too, because like you talk about Engine being like the Gojo character. You know what I mean? Like he fits like the same kind of type, and it's like, oh yeah, like you
Yeah.
think Engine takes the spotlight. It's like actually like Rio's taking that job, where she's the side character that takes all the attention away from the main character, and it's like super clippable. And that's like the funny thing is like pivoting here into that talk. When I first started watching the anime, I watched the anime before the manga, right? So people were saying that like, oh yeah, guys, Rio's not the love interest; it's someone else. And it ended up being Amo, right? But then you start reading the manga, and especially in the past couple chapters, like the information broker arc, like the way where that's like where it happened, where the broker's like, yeah, I'm only here because Rio's like, I mean, Rudo's making me apologize. And you see that like it causes that reaction in Rio, where it's like, wait, what? Like it meant like a lot to her, and that's when she then goes and she beelines it for Rudo. The second she then makes it to the HQ, she's like, yo, where's Rudo at? Like instantly asking for him. Oh, he's like in the other room. So she goes there and she sees him with Amo, and you see that like kind of like upsets her a little bit, and that's where I was like, wait, what? I thought Rio's not the love interest, and I'm like, is she? Are we kind of like foreshadowing, maybe a love triangle, or maybe like Rio's gonna be that person? You know what I mean? Like I'm like getting some signals here where I don't know. I don't know. And honestly, I'm all for Rudo and Rio. I'm not gonna lie, but I think that's gonna be really interesting moving forward because it's something that like people told me like, oh yeah, it's not a thing. She's more like an older sister, which there's definitely like proof of that. Like yeah, for sure. But it kind of makes you think that the information broker arc make it a little bit more than that. I was surprised when I first read it, and I was like, oh, are you guys sure? Are you positive here? Because I don't know.
It's kind of tough to dissect, but I'll tell you what I think. At first, like what we're exposed to is very similar to the scene with Yuji and Nobara and Hana, who, yeah, I'll leave it at that. But like when she's like, I always had a crush on Yuji,
Mm-hmm.
and Nobara immediately is like, oh, I shouldn't like feel anything by her saying that, but I do. Like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing I get from Rio. And like at first she's like, like playing with his hair and like, she's like laying on, or he's like laying on Rio. Like she's being comforting and like, yeah, very big sisterish.
Mm-hmm.
Although I never did that with my sister, but that's neither here or there. She's like, she kind of views, I think, Rudo in the same way she saw herself when she was younger. Like she got obviously picked up by Engine at some point
Hmm.
and like set on like a straighter path, but like this broken dude who's like very emotionally giving and like he's definitely like a lover. Like Rudo tries very hard,
Yeah.
even though his smile is goofy or like his customs are different. Rudo tries hard at yeah, dude. It's so
You're
good.
thinking of the most recent episode where he visits Sanka in the hospital. Yeah, and he has that, and he instantly switches to Sanka again, being like reminds us of the beginning of the season where he's like, "Why the fuck are you making that face? You pity me? I'll knock you the fuck out. I don't care if I'm in a hospital bed." And he's like, "Dude, why are you saying that? I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? I'm just seeing you in a different light."
He really looks like he's trolling too. Like that smile was way worse than the first time. But like
He's got to
another
know
a
at this
really good
point.
yeah 100%. That's like another really great aspect to it. But I
Mm-hmm.
think with Rio like and then we have what 100 and almost 160 chapters. I
Mm-hmm.
think the newest one's 159. So like you have a good bit of like almost double the exposure we have to the anime,
Yeah.
around 90 chapters like you were saying. I think by then you can kind of see that Rio definitely has feelings for Rudo. I won't say romantic, but like, yeah, she's definitely made it a point a few times to like speak about and show concern for Rudo, where like she definitely wouldn't do that for others. And again, it could be that like familial type, like, I don't want to see Rudo go down the path I would have went
Mm-hmm.
down, nah type thing. Her interactions with Amo tell me that she does feel something for him, and they're also the same age. It's not like she's like Engine's age and Rudo's 15. I think they're 15 and 16.
Yeah.
So like it's hard not to. I'm absolutely all in.
I
I
mean,
think they should get together at the end, but their dynamic right now feels like Yuji and Nobara. Like they have affection for each other, but it's not really romantic.
I'll say this because people might get pissed off too. Because people get pissed off when everyone ships everybody. You know what I mean? But like, I'm gonna say
We're
this.
very good about that, to be fair.
Yeah, I genuinely think it's this. I think they're just close. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, they're very close. They definitely share a bond on like multiple levels. I don't think Gachiakuta's gonna have romance in it. Just straight up. I think she's kind of fucking with the fan base, kind of like putting in those little
Yeah.
moments where it's like having these conversations. You know what I mean? It starts that convo. It starts people getting up because it does well for the manga. In all fairness, when people like ship like a couple or like two characters, it like generates that conversation, that spark, and that like attention. You know what I mean? It just generates more combo, which brings people to the source.
And like I hate to say it, but like you're exactly right. It creates
Yeah.
conversation and like people make fan arts and like it's fan service in a way for an author to like tease these
Mm-hmm.
relationships and you're like, oh yeah, like I know I'm right about that type thing. So like in all credit, like fan service maybe isn't the right word,
Mm-hmm.
but like as a fan of the series, like you are kind of interested in it. And like look at every major fucking shonen ever. Who does the main character end up? Does Sasuke end up with Sakura? Does Naruto end up with Hinata? Who does Ichigo end up with? Like all these things, like when shit wraps up, like everybody wants to know who the main cast is like marrying when we're done being teenage shonen
And
heroes.
here's the thing I'll say too. Again, I don't think any romance is really going to be in Gachiakuta. I think again it just creates a spark. The thing is though that's bad is that they do it for that like marketing. You know what I mean? For the attention. And you can tell it's so obvious with that because it always ends up really shitty. Because no one wants to sit there and be like, oh, we were teased the whole time and nothing happened. Let's go back to all those animes you just listed: Naruto, Bleach. I mean, My Hero Academia. We already brought that one up too. These like couples getting together, it ends up really shittily because it's kind of like the last couple episodes. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, they got married. Like we're not going to show you like the asking out or like the romantic build up or anything else. They're just together. It was the same thing with Naruto, same thing with Bleach, same thing with My Hero Academia. It's just thrown together at the end to appease the fan base, but it was nothing actually there intended by the author. I don't think.
It's literally just to tie up loose ends. Jujutsu
Yeah,
Kaisen, Demon Slayer, and I literally just had it. Something else.
every
They
shonen.
all do it.
Let's just sum it up. Every
And you know
shonen.
what? Like you're right. It is just kind of like commercial and marketing and shit. But like I do want to know. I
Yeah.
do want to know.
I mean, who knows? I think we're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because this is fire so far. So maybe he either doesn't end up with anybody because he doesn't have to. You know what I mean? It's okay. You know, and I feel like a lot of
And
authors forget that.
it's definitely not that type of manga or anime. Like
Exactly.
there can be like flashes of romance, and Urana I think is like not just a great artist, very fucking good storyteller.
Yeah.
Not familiar with her other stuff, but like huge fan of Gachiakuta. She does a good job, like you said, of creating that spark or like, oh shit, is there something there?
The
Like,
conversation.
but then she'll like make like a hot character like Seimu, and like she's just reading like porn at work. Just literally has like a Playboy at work, and you're like, oh, it's like in a way unserious, so you don't know what you're getting. Which again, like she's created such an amazing job
Dude, Seimu our
of like,
goat.
yeah, definitely the goat, the homie. I love how she's like best friends with her like Bundus and Engine are all like good friends and like go out all the time. And so yeah, that makes sense.
Bro, it's so good.
Or
But like,
bro, not Bundus,
I would say,
bro,
yeah,
bro
bonus is
Santa.
on the other side, bro. Oh my
You know,
god, I missed a
big
chapter.
buff old guys. Yeah, not bro.
Dude, but like talking about like amazing characters and like the conversation, you get it in more ways than one. I mean, it's insane the follow arc. That was fucking awesome, and I love too his character development. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna get hate for this because I know Folo's a beloved character. I liked him, and then in that moment in that arc, I hated him because he really did sound like such a whiny bitch. Like he's sitting there making
Total
it
bitch.
like they're fighting, and he's making it all about himself he's like, oh my god, Rudo, you don't respect me. And Rudo's like, bro, like you're hurt. Like I'm just saying, stay back for a second. Like, are you? What are you on? And then he sidelines the entire thing. He starts fighting Rudo mid-fight. And everyone's looking at them like, guys, what are you doing? Like we're supposed to be like professionals. Like get it together. Like Folo just
Yeah.
completely loses it. And you can tell too. Like they built it up from like the first time we meet him. Like his insecurities, his desires, the whole nine, and then you see it come to that breaking point, and that in that breaking point, you see him on the ground, and there you have the development where it ends up, he ends up kind of like thinking about things, of realizing his wrongs, and then ends up becoming a giver. And honestly, when we made this overlay, I mean, we put right underneath you that panel, the I'm done, I won't run anymore, fucking godlike. Oh, that one too. That one's above you. The absolute
Dude,
cinema.
yet another absolute banger thumbnail by the king himself. I feel like we don't bring it up that often,
Mm,
but like elite thumbnail. This shit is awesome.
Bro, that's the thing. I love the little memes because we have the Absolute Cinema by Tamsi,
Yeah.
but also we have what's the one from Soul Eater, the Great Sword or whatever.
Honestly, Kay Urana is such a phenomenal follow on like Twitter and Instagram. I've like saved so many of like the artwork she'll like put up like that she's worked on.
Excalibur.
Such
Excalibur is like a character, like a weapon in Soul Eater, and he made an appearance. He was in a panel in Gachiakuta. It was absolutely, and they referenced him too. It was in this arc in the very beginning of it when they're walking. It's like, oh, that's right, annoying ass sword, and it shows Excalibur. Fucking goaded, absolutely goaded.
she killed it at the Doll Festival. Like, there's a ton of panels of them walking around, and in like the foreground, it's like all about like the characters or the
Mm-hmm.
cast and like their outfits, and you're like, holy shit, these are sick. Like Rudo's designed really
Yeah,
cool. Rio looks really good. But in the background of like a shitload of these panels through like multiple chapters, she's like literally dropping like other characters from other animes, and like all these artists and people were like, yeah, that's sick. That was well done. And you know how like the Twitter or Reddit community or
mm-hmm.
whatever, TikTok, they'll like come flooding in and be like, oh, look who I saw. Again, just another really, really good like way to like show love to other animes and manga without like being super overt with it.
Dude, it's amazing. The only thing I worry about a tiny bit is looking in the future here when it gets animated because of all the shit that happened with Dandadan, where everyone's like, "Hey, yo, copyright," you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
and the thing is, I don't think it's going to be a problem because Excalibur is from Soul Eater, and she worked. I think she worked under the person who did Soul Eater, or they're best friends. So I don't think she's going to get a copyright for that.
she was an editor for Fire Force for a while, I think. So that's like how she got her start. So like that
Yeah.
would tie in with Soul Eater and shit.
Yeah. So like they know each other, which is like really really cool. But like yo, like there's so many things. Again, so like the Folo arc was absolutely awesome. Everything with Fu too. I think Fu was an amazing character design. Like he's someone that's
Ah,
so underrated because everyone in the anime now thinks of him as this shy fucking just dumbass that just is obsessed with engine. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh yeah, Fu actually like fucks a lot of people up. Like Fu's actually, dude. That's the thing with the information broker arc. Like Fu's gonna shine. Fu's gonna get his goddamn moment.
and the like the meme of him like when he changes into to he and it's just like I'm him. What and like the fucking panel when Zodal and the Rangers pull up in the car next to him and Zodal's just like leaning over the seat into the window looking at fucking Fu and Fu's
So
just
that
like oh my god. He's like yeah you're a traitor bro. He was just like oh my fucking god. One of the best scenes in manga that I've ever seen. Hysterical.
bro's like, it's not my fault. You didn't give me orders. You didn't know what to do.
And they totally bounced on him. Didn't tell him they were leaving. Made no effort. So like, definitely not a traitor.
Dude,
Very valid switching of
no,
sides.
that's low key. When that happened, I was like surprised that they felt that way. I thought they kind of just like tossed them aside. You know what I mean? And they were just like kind of upset. Where it's like, yo, Fu, what the fuck? Like I thought you were with us. I thought we were boys. And Fu was just like, nah. And then Fu like kind of like 1v9s a little bit. But speaking of characters at 1v9, that's a damn shame that we never see of again. Gita, bro. What are you telling me? She hits that level
Yeah,
3 form in the trash beast, and we just haven't seen her again. Like, what? That's like the biggest fumble so far.
and like I'm trying to like take it with like a very grand view of like the plot because like we know,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's inferred. We don't know for sure. The blonde girl, what the
Norde?
fuck's her name? Norde. Like she's not dead. We don't know if she's alive, but like
Yeah.
it's implied she falls on a fucking giant mattress and she's alive.
Yeah.
So like I assume they'll bring characters back like that, kind of like a la One Piece. I love that shit. You know, they fight for the other side and all that, but like we still don't know. So like yeah, it's hard to say like who they'll like dive back into. Gita, Norde. I mean, really the Raiders in general have been like, you know, forgotten since it's this whole Mimo arc. But
Mm-hmm.
like now we have Gauntis to Lily, like the world definitely feels like it's expanding. So I feel like they'll bring a lot of characters back and use them, you know, in certain arcs to kind of like accomplish a certain plot point.
Dude, especially too because let's talk about like the villain that's been built up for quite some time. We haven't like even gotten to that arc yet. I mean, like Tamsi. That's a guy that again comes and goes. You know what I mean? Where we get little aspects of him. Like that's one thing where like I hope the anime ends off with that. Where like he's the one that
Dude,
kidnapped Amo. Bro, that chapter, that singular fucking chapter, Tamsi's Day Off. It was so good. I remembered the name of it. You know what I mean? Where I was just like, what the fuck? It's amazing. And like we think that Mimo arc right now is like really good. Like the Tamsi arc. It's all foreplay for the Tamsi arc. And like I hope that
so
it's like
true.
not the last one, but like it's going to be so fucking good because he's so strong. He's such an interesting character, you know what I mean? He's like the like Hisoka from like Hunter x Hunter. He kind of feels like him a little bit. He's a little psychotic and he creates or like grows his enemies because he's just that strong. Like Tamsi definitely like pulled a lot of the strings, got Rudo down, awoken Rudo's powers, and he's like accelerating Rudo's growth so that he could one day fuck up Rudo. You know what I mean? Like he's very insane, which just makes it like so cool. Like when we finally get there, and I can imagine, I can't even like wait for they when they realize that he's against them because Rudo takes a lot of shit to heart. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna crush Rudo.
And like a lot of Tamsi's plan is to build Rudo up to be like as crazy and as emotionally unstable as possible and
Yeah.
go through all this traumatic shit so that he can accomplish whatever goal it is. And he does have a piece of the Watchmen series, and that's like a huge fucking sticking point
Yeah.
that I think we've only literally gotten like one quick reference to in the anime,
Mm-hmm.
that he has the book. For me, like I'm just guessing, I see Rudo like completely crashing out once he finds out, and like he'll use multiple pieces of the Watchmen series. But like you got to think that would mean they probably beat the Raiders. Zodal loses his jacket. Like there's going to be a point where they start like collecting them for Rudo because they know what it's about. Amo's boots will be the easiest to get. She'll give them to Rudo. But like that is like huge like steps that need to happen before we get to there like plot wise. Also Corvus. We don't know shit about the whole dude who runs the cleaners.
Yeah.
And to your point about Follow, when he visits Follow and is like, "Oh, I'm glad you're okay. Heard you had it rough, blah blah blah." Did Rudo really do that? And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, it's exactly like how you heard it," or whatever he says. And that's the only time Corvus was like, "Oh shit," like in a kind of a negative way too.
Mm-hmm.
And like again, you don't know this in the anime, but like that's literally the only bit of like reaction we've gotten out of Corvus. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. No,
So like, there's a lot implied with that Follow arc.
and he seems like he's always like ahead of the game too. Like he's always like 4 or 5 steps ahead. You know what I mean? He seems like he's always in the know. Even the thing with Canvas Town, like they sent or the Canvas Town that we're about to get to, because like he sends them away because the Hell's Guard is about to show up or something, or did it already happen? But anyways, like he sends them away knowing that the Hell's Guard's gonna come, and he's like, all right, let's get Rudo out of here. So there's no that confrontation. But like he's definitely like, in the know. I think he might even know like have some suspicions of Tamsi. You know what I mean? There's no way he wouldn't with like his insight and with Simo being able to see into people as well. Like they got to see something in Tamsi that's just not all there. So I think that the Tamsi arc is going to be fucking phenomenal, and it'll be so cool too if like he collects all of the pieces and he's able to like control the Watchmen. You know what I mean? You just see the hand just like come down or something. That'd be fucking awesome. That'd be pretty insane. But do we know what the book does? I think the book's still a huge mystery.
Total mystery. And like, we get a lot in the information broker arc about Zodal and the jacket.
Mm-hmm.
We know about Amo and the boots. Like, and I actually no, not really. Like it was mostly like her smell and shit. Like we still have like a lot to go with like the Watchmen series. But going back to Tamsi, he's more of like an Aizen to me. It feels like nobody knows, like, he's got this whole fucking game planned out,
Yeah,
and nobody's like, yeah, like, you think Tamsi's weird? He's just like one of the boys. And he has this like devious plot. He knows how to get to the surface. He's got these angel wings. Like, he has a fucking partner. He's not working alone. So like I mean, he could be working with Zodal for all we know.
yeah.
That's how like they would have fucking knew they were that restaurant bar type thing.
Or he could be
Like
working with
there's
Corvus. I mean, let's
like
not throw that out
yeah,
there. Like, let's just, you
we
know what
have
I
no
mean?
idea. We have no idea. And I think that sets Tamsi up to be like this ultimate, like, emu One Piece type villain who's like you said, like 20 steps ahead of what everybody's doing at all times, which makes Tamsi such a cool character because he's very much a background character for the most part
Yeah,
through like the story. Like, he's there because Tamsi did it, but
yeah.
like none of the cleaners are like, what's up with Tamsi? Everybody's just totally
And
oblivious.
let's be honest too, no one knows shit about the Watchmen series, including the Watchmen series users. Because like, okay, we know that Amos has like a very like one-sided of like what it does, right? But like we see with Rudo all the time that he's involved his like 4 or 5 times now. I mean, even the thing with the necklaces, that was something that is evolving. It's kind of like it's limited to their imagination. Like if they use their imagination, they think out of the box, they can like push it to do things that you never thought was possible. Like even like, and what I mean by that now is like with Rudo, what he's doing is like everyone kind of all the Watchmen users kind of like think of it as like it does this one thing, and that because that's what it does. And Rudo's the one who keeps like inventing new rules. Like even in the most recent arc, like what he did, merging his power with the necklace user's power, even he was like, "That's possible." Like, what the fuck is this? He just took some of my power. Like, what's going on? Can you even come back from this? You know what I mean? It's the thing where it's like there's so much more to explore with the things that we already know about. You know what I mean? Like those boots can do way more than Amo knows and Rudo knows and anybody knows. Same thing with the necklace, same thing with the jacket, same thing with the necklaces, same thing with the books. Like it's insane. So it's like it's really cool to see like if it does get into Rudo's hands, just what he fucking does with it.
Dude, so true. We have so much to explore. And like I feel like in a way we do get a little bit of it
Mm-hmm.
with like the cover pages, which again, I'm a huge fan of that. Like
So good.
again, very like One Piece esque,
Mm-hmm.
but like they like tell very important lore stories for the manga without having to be in the actual chapter.
Mm-hmm.
We've got stuff about Mimo, presumably about Engine. Like there's a lot to like really enjoy about the cover art. So like I mean just lore wise, especially like Watchmen series wise with like lore and like new information, we still have so much to explore. Like you said on the pod, like this could easily be like a 6, 7, 8 season manga where there's just a ton of shit. And the way Urana like brings new characters in is always really good. Like the sky is literally the limit for Gachiakuta.
Yeah, honestly, with Gachiakuta, I think the sky, like, you can go above it. Like, who's to say the
Yeah,
sphere's
true
the
that.
who's to say the sphere's the top? You know what I mean? Like, there could be like more shit going on, and that's the cool thing. But at the same time, the scary thing is that like we're catching up like immediately. You know what I mean? Like, it takes time to do something this fucking phenomenal. So I feel like because of that, Gachiakuta is gonna be hot for the next like 15 years, like low key, because we're not gonna be getting it every year. You know what I mean? Especially if we're dropping 24 episode seasons. You know what I mean? I feel like it's gonna take a lot of time to catch up, and hopefully they stick to the manga. Like hopefully they wait for the manga to develop 90 chapters before they then start animating it, because there are times where the anime is so popular and they catch up. Blue Exorcist, where they're like, hey, let's just invent something new. And it's like, nah, don't you dare fucking do some non-canon shit. I'll stab you. I will find you and I will stab you. So I think because of that, Gachakuta will last like several years, because it's gonna take time between seasons, but hopefully we get through seasons as fast as possible at a reasonable rate, because dude, it's so good. Like these upcoming arcs are just insane. The future is insane too of like what we have to look forward to. But even again too, like no one saw the Mimo arc coming. Like this is so out of left field, so it just goes to show that we kind of have an idea of where the end goal is, but what's in between is just like infinite. It's gonna be so amazing. I hope we get this for as long as possible. It's honestly one of the best mangas I've ever picked up. I'm so unbelievably happy. We haven't even gotten into the Hell's Guard. I mean, the designs of the characters in the Hell's Guard are sick as well. Like yo,
Yeah,
the fucking white haired chick with like the short hair, that kind of like body Zonka. That's all we kind of know about her, is that she kind of like fucked them up, and she has like a different view of like power and shit. Now we kind of know she's like a top person in the House Guard. Like I can't wait to get more into that. I can't wait for her and Zonka to kind of have that confrontation. Like it's gonna be really good. Like dude, I'm so excited.
dude, there's so much. Honestly, like I'm literally just reading about Arca, and it's like there's so much to explore with all these characters. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're exactly right. We got years to go with this, and I think that's what it's like so exciting and enticing to get into the manga. Because once you're like a sucker for the week to week source material, you're cooked, bro. You're a fan for life, and I think it's the
Mm-hmm.
perfect kind of like anime or manga to like really get into. But yeah, there's just so much with it. Like each character, I think, is really well designed. Like there's depth to each character. There's just like so much left to explore, which I think right now is like the most exciting part.
Yeah, and it gets me excited too for the future too, because like she's a fucking badass, right? And she's just also like a huge fan of anime. You can tell she takes inspiration from a lot of different animes. She's like friends with a lot of other authors and shit like that. Gets me excited for Kagurabachi because he kind of gives me the same vibes, and I feel like the when that gets animated, it's gonna kind of have the same cult like or like fan base. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, hey yo, this fucking eats. The characters are awesome, the fight scenes are sick, and the plot's incredible. So it kind of just gets me excited for the future of anime too and mangas because a lot of people you see now, and especially that have like amazing, stories, they're just huge fans. You know what I mean? It's like, let me give it a shot, and thank God they fucking did because they are insanely talented.
And they're young people too. Like
Yeah.
Urana and Kagurabachi's author, Hakazono, like they're Hakazono's 24. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
young people. For me, it really feels like the next generation of like great anime and manga authors are like coming up, and there are two of them. Fujimoto, I think he's like 30-ish, but like he's still young as shit
Mm-hmm.
too, and like there's just so much to be excited for overall. But like these are kind of like the names that I think we'll be talking about for a long time because of like the works that we're watching now and how it's unfolding. You're on a sensational author, but like overall, like the plot line for Gachiakuta, I'm really impressed with. To be able to like get something so enjoyable but hide so much like lore and information,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to do and like keep people satisfied. Just like masterclass work.
Dude, and like you said, like the way she's able to hide stuff again, the mystery with Corvus is just like, dude, like we don't
An
know
engine too.
anything. Anything, bro. It's absolutely insane. So again, the future is very, very bright with this one. It's absolutely awesome. I cannot wait moving forward to do chapter reactions. It is going to be so much fun. And again, we're going to be doing a lot of them recently because, we're at the peak of this incredible, incredible arc. With that being said, hey, can we stop shooting down some of these ships? You're making it pretty fucking hard to read this stuff. God forbid a guy wants to read. And you're stopping someone from reading? Insane.
And
So,
everybody's paying for 50,000 subscriptions.
yeah.
Just let me have this one thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like let's chill out here. But with that
Just
being,
chill.
yeah, yeah, dude, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But with that being said, we're gonna be dropping a lot of different chapter reactions too with some other mangas. We're gonna be doing a lot of other manga videos. We also have a podcast that we drop every Tuesday talking about anime that is coming out, and it's just always fun to talk about. Gachiakuta has definitely been our highlight this season. And with that being said, we also drop out a lot of seasonal anime videos where we talk about previews of the upcoming seasons, check-ins when the seasons drop to kind of let you guys know the sleepers that are out, as well as, of course, sleeper animes because there's still plenty of animes that have already dropped that were ahead of their time and they were slept on. No one knows about them, no one talks about them, and you would love them if you gave them a shot. With that being said, we hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We hope you guys are absolutely loving this manga, and of course, you can't gatekeep the sauce. Tell everybody. Gachiakuta manga
Yes.
is peak. It's at the top. There's no higher. It is incredible. So that is it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are excited for the next couple chapters that drop. Is there gonna be perfect? That is it, guys. Later. Peace.